but how many players left in the league have that? Is he a throwback? Is he an old school player? Will we see players like him with that kind of approach, maniacal approach, ever again?
Are we just talking about the load management side of it, or the total mentality?
I think all of it. Yeah, I think it embodies all of it.
So Dame,
well, if we're talking about
right?
the total mentality, I would say there's a number of guys with the total mentality. Where Jay went and mentioned Dame. Kevin Durant's a killer.
Dame's a great one.
Obviously, LeBron James, Steph Curry. I mean,
they're older
James
players,
Harden.
though. You're talking about guys over 30.
Well,
that's why I'm asking like that. They're from his era. Those guys played with Kobe, right? So I'm asking about
Devin Booker
what's coming
played
next.
67 games.
But he's
not a.
See, I'm not looking at the game.
That,
I'm not looking at the amount of games, because everybody's games, depending on when they play, injury, some things won't allow them to play. But the mentality, the fiery mentality, the take control mentality, the you do it this way or else get the hell out of here mentality.
Yeah.
You probably got 7, 8 guys in the NBA that's that way. I would think. Jay may say more.
I got Dame, Westbrook, Steph, Giannis. CP3 is one of those. Jokic, Bron. I mean, KD. You got a lot of guys that still have that same mentality. I'm sure I'm missing some names too.
Is this
so you got to have the mentality, the Mamba mentality? Yes, playing every night. Yes, that is correct. But having my foot on your throat that's it. You gotta have that mentality, and Kobe had that mentality. He wouldn't, no matter what. You know, some guys, you go back to Kobe's early years, the shots against Utah, some people careers would be over. They would fold under that. They wouldn't know how to go back and rejuvenate and figure out, okay, I'm going to shake that off now. I'm supposed to go on a run that they've never seen before. Some guys break and fold under pressure. Mm-hmm. Jay knows this. They just crumble under that type of pressure. So you are a young kid who is given a big responsibility in the NBA or professional sports in general, and you don't deliver, your career is pretty much over because you don't have the mentality to just say, you know what, bump that. I'm getting ready to come back.
And the doubters and
naysayers
naysayers are quick to jump on you no matter how old you are.
Absolutely.
I mean, but the thing that makes Kobe, I mean, Kobe has 5 chips, man. Like, it's even listening to Vanessa Bryant do her best to describe Kobe, he's indescribable. He really is. If anybody's got a chance to spend time with him, and MJ is the same kind of way, where it's maniacal. It's 24/7. Like, I know a lot of guys who are hoopers. Right? There's a difference between a hooper and somebody that plays basketball. There's a lot of guys in the NBA that play basketball that make great money. There's not a lot of guys in the NBA who are hoopers. And hoopers know what I'm talking about. Kobe is a hooper.
Yeah.
Like, it's all the time. Nothing else matters. Didn't care.
I smiled and I started laughing when Jay was talking. I used to be that way early on. I couldn't do it no more. I just couldn't.
I'm glad you said that.
I couldn't do it no more.
I'm glad you said that.
I was like,
because you can have it, but to have it for just
no,
like
I
that
couldn't.
long.
I couldn't do it no more, man. I did it for probably about 7 of my 11 years early on, nonstop, no matter what. Didn't isolated myself from the world. Wouldn't deal with people. Just constantly took 2 weeks off. Season's over. Right back at the grind. Right back at the grind. Right back at the grind. And I couldn't do it no more, man. Mm-hmm. It broke me. Mm-hmm. It did. It broke me. It
can wear you out.
Oh, yeah, man.
But that's what makes it so rare. And again,
well, it also wears out the people around you, too, now, because it takes a lot of patience, right? It's just not you. I mean, it's about you, right? I mean, it's about you all the time. Like, it's a give and take part of the relationship.
Yeah, it was football, weightlifting, running, jumping, jogging, football, weightlifting, running, jumping, jogging, film study, all day long.
It's an obsession.
All I did.
It's an obsession. It's something that you have to have an obsessive kind of personality, probably be able to do it. And it's not easy to do. You can't teach it.
It's one of those deals, Alan, even in college, the reason I became the number 1 overall pick is because of that type of mentality.
Right.
And when I was in school, I took care of the schoolwork, whatever it was. But the moment that was over, I was in the coach's office, in the film room. Everybody else was out eating lunch or doing whatever. I'd take my lunch. I'd be right there. Then afterwards, go downstairs, lift weights, do whatever. Go to practice. After practice, come back in, lift weights, watch film. Yeah, like I felt like I didn't have a life. And then
you did, though.
But I did,
right?
But it just was.
You didn't have a life like a normal, like I would say normally in air quotes, but like regular people. Because you weren't regular. You weren't a typical person. You were different. You were wired differently.
It wore me out to the point of no return. But see, like for Kobe, it didn't wear him out.
Never.
That's why he's different.
Right.
That's why everybody always says him and Michael are different.
See, I would change that conversation. I don't think it wore Kobe out. I think he just translated that energy to his family. Like, and I'm not saying that Kobe didn't have that energy towards his family before, but I feel like when basketball was gone, he took all that obsession, all that energy, all that focus that he had for basketball and put that into all of his kids. I mean, people talked about it. We used to talk about it. When I saw him at the Players Tribune thing, it was like the whole conversation was about, I was like, yo, that's incredible. Because what people don't talk about is as you're doing all that, I'm not saying you can't prioritize your family because you can, but what happens is your family is a little bit below your work and what you have to do, right? In the gym all the time, training, all that. So it's like,
and that's
hey,
hard for them to understand.
I can't be at my kid's game because I got to go put in this work. I'm trying to be here, right? So like I think that's why a lot of athletes looked at Kobe and was like, damn, like that's incredible. He went from like that to whoop. Now Gigi, my wife, Vanessa, my family, like, that's incredible, man. A lot of people can't just turn that switch. Like a lot of people become lost.
Yeah. When the career's over, it's like, I don't know what to do next. He was able to find that. And
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.